Hi everyone, so welcome back to the YouTube channel of Teacher Allison Fang. I haven't uploaded for a very long time, and if you're still supporting teacher and you're still in this channel, I sincerely thank you for all your support. And today I'll be actually diving into a very different story essay, and the essay theme for this video would be about friendship. As we all know, friendship, they play a part and parcel in our daily lives. Hence, it is very important that we cultivate friendships that are always within us and friendship that is always surrounding us all the time. And today I will be focusing on a topic that's very simple. This is actually a proverb called "A friend in need is a friend indeed." So the meaning for this particular proverb is basically whenever you are at your lowest point, maybe you are having some problems, you encounter some challenges, and your friend was there to help you, to encourage you, to guide you when you need their guidance. That is the definition of a true friend. So we will be writing an essay, and we are going to be writing a SPM story essay with the theme revolving about friendship, and the topic and the moral value and the ending is called "A friend in need is a friend indeed." So without further ado, let's get started. Remember to prepare like a test pad and a paper, and I really hope you'll be able to learn something from this particular video. But because the teacher is having a sinus, so you may see me sniffling this inhaler from time to time just to make my flu feel slightly much more better. Okay, so whenever we are writing any single story essay, it is very important to ask yourself, where am I and who am I? So basically, you have to talk about your current situation. I'm a student, I'm a teacher, I am basically a waitress or whatsoever. So usually the first paragraph, the current situation, we can write about who are we and what are we currently doing. So once you have read about that, throughout the entire story essay, there must be a problem that occurred, and maybe you have taken action. If you ever seen the movie Cinderella, like what is the current situation? She is living with her stepsisters, she is living with her stepmother, and she is always like a maid, constantly cleaning the house. So suddenly one day a problem, an event happened where, if I'm not mistaken, a teacher hasn't watched the Cinderella for some time already. If we watch back the Cinderella movie, if I'm not mistaken, there was like an invitation from the prince to invite all the girls and all the female that's above the age of 20 to go to the castle and have a ball, to attend the ball and have a dance with the prince. So basically, an event happened, and what was the action taken? So Cinderella, she wanted to go, but her stepsisters and stepmother didn't allow her to go to the ball. So what was the most exciting part? The most exciting part and the climax of Cinderella is when she met her fairy godmother. Her fairy godmother gave her an extreme beautiful makeover. She made her look like a princess, and even there's a carriage and things like that. So throughout the entire Cinderella movie, if you ever watched it, one of the most exciting parts was when she transformed into a beautiful princess and she attended the ball with the help of her fairy godmother. Every single story will always have a very exciting part, a very thrilling part, whether if it is something good or something negative, it doesn't matter, but it has to be a climax, something that's very exciting. Maybe you won the competition, maybe you gotten A plus for this subject, maybe the character encountered a car accident. There is always bound to be a climax, something very exciting or something very thrilling. After writing the climax, what is the end result and what is the entire moral value of the essay? So usually for Teacher Allison, the way I teach my students, I always tell them, your first paragraph, what is your current situation? A good story will always have a climax as well. And once you have finished writing the entire essay, what is the moral value? What is the lesson learned? And what is the title of the essay, what is the moral value? As you are writing the entire story essay, you could also use this formula that teacher has taught my students. I call it the FAC formula. The F stands for flowering sentences. If you have no idea what is that, later I will give you some examples. What are the constant actions that you're taking in this story? Who is the character and also the emotion? Every single story, there's always emotion because you won the competition. You are very happy. You are working hard for the competition. You are very sad. You are very tired. You work day in and day out and you sacrifice like your friends and your family. You feel very upset. So there's always like a feeling whenever you are writing a story essay. All right. So this is like a very simple formula sheet. I hope I'm able to help you whenever you're writing your story essay. So later, as teacher is guiding you through the entire essay, the white and the black color will stand for the past tense because story essay, it is over already. It is very important that we're always using past tense, our flowering sentences, and some elite VIP. So to Miss Allison, right, VIP basically stands for very important vocabularies, idioms, phrases, and proverbs. And because we are writing a story essay, we also require story linker as well as maybe something additional. We will require some conversation where there are some conversations being exchanged in the story part. Are you ready? So now I will not be doing the brainstorming. We will just immediately start with our story essay. So maybe for the first paragraph, I would like to talk about the weather. How is the weather like in Malaysia? Sometimes it's very sunny, sometimes it's raining cats and dogs. The weather in Malaysia can be a little bit fickle sometimes, but recently, as in today is April 16th, I would say that the weather has been quite cold. It has been raining cats and dogs in here and there. So a very simple kind of like flowering sentences. The rain started splashing against the window panes. I am sitting in a classroom right now, and right beside me, there's actually windows. So how do you know it's raining sometimes? You hear the pia, 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 like you hear the pitter patter of the rain splashing against the window, you will hear the pitter patter. So this one is a very simple flowering sentence. Rain started splashing against the window panes. You hear the water just plop, 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 pia, pia. You just hear the raining sound splashing against the window. We are going to be using this particular flowering sentences. Okay, so everybody, for the first paragraph, we are going to be using a very simple story starter. How would I want to start this story essay? I will be using some flowering sentences. So the first thing that I'm writing here, rain started splashing against the window panes. Okay, so like for now, we know that the weather is raining cats and dogs. It is raining really heavily. And who am I and where am I? The classroom was filled with the students' chatter and laughter. Chatter meaning everybody is like chatting gleefully. Everybody is like chewing the fat. Everybody, let's face it, I was once a student, you are also a student, and you may be once a student as well. You must be like always, you're always like in Mandarin, they call it 叽叽喳喳, always talking. The entire classroom was filled with the students' chatter and laughter. So it is obvious that I'm a student, I'm in the classroom, staring at the school field through the transparent window panes. This character, John, he vividly remembered what happened to him a few months ago. In this particular scenario, John was able to remember very clearly what happened to him a few months ago. He is having a flashback. Vivid is like very clear. You know, whenever you're going to watch some YouTube video, you are listening to like a music, maybe like a music video, or you're watching a movie, you wish you can watch the movie for free. And we always wish that the movie is in high resolution, very clear picture, like no blurries at all. Vivid means very clear. So vividly remembered what happened to him a few months ago. It all started when John was having his soccer training in the school field. The school field was surrounded by lush greenery and filled with a whirlwind of activity. Lush greenery is basically like, you are surrounded by nature. You are surrounded by greens. You look left, you look right, you look down, everywhere is green color. You look up, okay, the sky is blue color. But basically, you are nestled in like a complete green landscape. So, and it was filled with a whirlwind of activity. Well, since we mentioned that we are all students, as a student, whenever you're having Hari Sukam, whenever you're having your PJK lesson, like the entire field, students are doing, they're kicking the ball, they're warming up, they are chit-chatting with their friends. So there's a bunch of activities going on at the same time. We call it a whirlwind of activity. Understand, my dear children and my online viewers? So the first paragraph, the story starter that we're using, it's a flowering sentence. And who am I? It is obvious that this John, he's a student because he is in a classroom and he is having a flashback of what happened to him a few months ago. So as you're watching this YouTube video, you can pause the video, you write finish first, and then you can continue. Once you are done ready, we will be using another flowering sentence. So at the current moment when John is having the flashback, it is raining cats and dogs. There is a torrential downpour. Like it's sangat, itu hujan, hujan sangat lebat lah, the hujan is like super lebat. But as he flashed back a few months ago, that time when he was playing soccer, the weather was terrific. So as you all know, as Malaysians, the Malaysia weather, when it's hot, it can get pretty hot. It is extremely, extremely hot. The sun still casts its angry rays across the skies. So when the sun is shining down, it is casting the sunlight rays. Is very hot, very humid. You can just use the entire flowering sentence. You may continue the first paragraph. So after writing a whirlwind of activity, you can just write, the sun still casts its angry rays across the skies. Means that the weather is extremely burning hot. Grueling heat stung his skin. Grueling means that it is very torturing. Like you're sweating, you are very uncomfortable. Like honestly, right now, teacher is not very comfortable because my nose, my nose is a bit problematic. It's not it's a bit grueling as well because whenever I want to like express myself, my nose gets even more itchier. So everybody drink more water, don't go under the rain. The grueling heat stung his skin. For the final two sentences, you can just like make a simple sentence. The flowering sentence, you can just copy as it is. And the last sentence, the grueling heat stung his skin because the weather is so hot. So the first paragraph, as the conclusion, who am I? I'm John. I'm a student. I'm having a flashback about when I was playing soccer many, many months ago. And that's it really. Okay. So the first paragraph, we are done and dusted. Any questions you have, you can comment down below. If there's any typo, I apologize. Teacher is not perfect. You can also let everyone know in the comments down below. All right. So moving on to the second paragraph. So as he is playing soccer, now look at this dashing debonair. He is a very good looking guy. He is the type of guy that Miss Allison, I find him very attractive. I like guys who look like this. So a smile, his face, showing off his pearly whites. A smile flashed across his face, showing off his pearly whites. I've always loved this particular word, pearly whites. Why is it called pearly whites? Like some people, especially when they're doing the toothpaste advertisement, whenever they smile, right? Ding, their teeth, they're so white and their tooth looks like a pearl. It looks like a pearl. You know, your grandmother, whenever she attends all the function, they will wear all the fancy necklaces, and the necklaces has pearls on it. Yeah, exactly. Their teeth looks like the pearls. So pearly whites meaning you're very healthy set of white teeth. Whenever we say, oh, I love his pearly whites, means that I love the way he smiles. The only way I am able to see your pearly white is whenever you are smiling. Ding, the pearly whites, okay? We are going to be using this flowering sentence in our following paragraphs. Okay, what is going on right now? So everybody, as y'all can see here, we have the green color, we have the red color. As you remember the first rule that teacher mentioned just now, for teacher's entire essay, the red color is the elite VIP, the vocabularies, the idioms, the phrases, and also some flowering sentences. The blue color is the story linker, and the green color is a conversation. So far for the first paragraph, we have used our story linkers, we have used our vocabulary as well as flowering sentences. So for the paragraph two here, teacher Allison will be teaching you the whole entire paragraph, but as y'all can see, there are a few numberings here and there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I want you guys to find the correct answer because honestly, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the grammar is wrong, and they are very common mistakes that are always committed by Form 4 and Form 5 students. I hope you're able to not commit any of these careless mistakes when you are in a real examination. Okay? So we will discuss the essay first. The soccer coach suddenly mentioned, hey, the players who are going to be playing for the semi-soccer match, okay, at the particular day, Friday, are who and who. So guys, basically the ... right? You can just put your best friend's name. So let's say, for example, John's best friend. Let's say, for example, John's best friend is Tim. You can just write the players are going to be playing for the semi-soccer match, okay, on Friday, or Tim and John. So beside John, you can write your best friend's name. The soccer coach announcing the main lineup for the match. Everybody, the lineup here is not like you're lining up, you know. The lineup is basically the people who are participating the soccer match on the very day. Who are the main participants? When John hearing his name being called, at this moment, guys, we can use a very simple flowering sentence. A smile spread across his face. A smile flashed across his face. A twinkle appeared in his eyes, and he smiled so widely that he showed his ding ding. Everybody remember the pearly whites? His teammates congratulated him for hat being selected. Teacher is not going to discuss the grammar here. You, the one who's watching, who wants to improve your English, you go and figure out what's the proper grammar. All right, that's the second paragraph. And now we are moving on to the third paragraph. Unfortunately, I am unable to show you all the video because later I'll get a copyright. So we can just move directly to paragraph 3, yeah? Okay, so now we're going on to the third paragraph already. We haven't really reached the climax yet, but we are almost there already. So here at this particular part, we are going to be describing how this John looks like. We can also use some flowering sentences. So John had a towering height as tall as KLCC, 190 cm maybe. John had a towering height with well-defined muscles. You can see his muscle like really showing on his biceps, on his abs. Very, very fit, burly kind of guy, yeah? So, and the next one. Undoubtedly, no doubt, without a doubt, John did very well for the first half of the training and received umpteen praises. Umpteen means a lot, like many, many praises, many people, umpteen years, many years, many years, umpteen years, many praises, umpteen years. John did extremely well for the first half of the soccer training and received a lot of praises. Basically, the word utterly is like extremely. Extremely and utterly, they are both like the same thing. They did extremely well. they did utterly well. So how do you construct a sentence using extremely? You can use it the same way when you are constructing utterly. All right. However, as John was running to kick the ball, he was running. He was sprinting to kick the ball. He accidentally, he fell off. He tripped on his own foot and landed on the field with a thunderous pop. So why is it called thunderous? If you ever look at the weather in Malaysia, whenever it's raining cats and dogs, the thunder is like tong tong. It's like super duper loud. If you have a dog, I believe your dog is afraid of thunder. If you are human like me, sometimes I get shocked by the loud thunder. Thunders are always loud and deafening. That's why thunderous means extremely loud. He fell on the ground with a thunderous bump and he sprained his leg and twisted his ankle. Really, really ouch. So John is having a very massive injury. And once you are done with this part already, Miss Allison wants you to describe about the final 3 sentences. We look at the bullet point here. Moaning in pain. Basically, John was like, making that sound whenever we are hurting, we get a stomach ache, maybe we are severely injured, we tend to make, moaning in pain. Who is moaning in pain? John is moaning in pain with his tear-reddened eyes. His eyes have a lot of tears and his eyes are red color. Obviously, he is crying out loud already and he is letting out a loud, raspy cry. I'm not really a good actress. I have never done acting in my entire life, but everybody, I guess you can pretty much guess, and then he starts crying. So he let out a very loud, raspy cry. Raspy is like the sound when it hits your ear, right? You really like when you hear the person crying, you can also feel their pain because their sound and their voice, it just hits your ear. It's raspy, okay? And the second sentence, what I want you to write is, you can use a story linker. I need to stop saying the story linker. If not, you'll know the answer. A story linker, and then John's teammates immediately scooted over. Scooted over is like faster run to John and see, hey, John, are you okay? Hey, John, what happened? Like quickly scooted over to see if John is okay. So some of John's teammate helped to carry John, and John was limping painstakingly. Whenever a person is limping, right? So everybody you see here, whenever you're walking, I try not to cover my face. Whenever you're walking in a very smooth manner, like tuk, 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 tuk. But when you're limping, right, it's like uh, uh, like whenever you're walking, it's like you have to go one by one. You cannot walk smoothly like this. You cannot walk smoothly, but rather you are like uh, like this. That's called limping already. I hope my fingers were great demonstrations, but if not, I'm so sorry. So some of them helped John, and John was limping in a very, very painstakingly manner. Painstaking is like you are working very hard, you are in pain already, you are working very hard for your studies, you are feeling all the stress and the pain, you are working painstakingly. So when he was limping, right? He is limping in a very painful manner. So the teammates quickly help John, and John was limping. And finally, the teammates put John to sit on the bench. Something like that. For the final 3 sentences here, it also belongs to the 3rd paragraph. As usual, you are watching the video, you try to make the sentence by yourself. You can comment down below, and when teacher is not teaching, I'll be sure to come back and mark your sentences in the comments below. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The 4th paragraph, we are actually at the climax already. So for the climax, right, it can be something good, it can be something bad. Maybe John had a very serious injury. He could no longer play football anymore. He could no longer play soccer anymore. Or maybe John could have a very minor injury where he's only injured for a couple of days and then he can continue his particular sport already. So for the 4th paragraph, the blue color, the story linker, the red color are the, flowering sentences and the elite vocabularies, idioms, and phrases. But everybody, for the fourth paragraph, teacher is teaching. So I want you to change the grammar here and there. After taking a look at John's injury, his coach had to tell him the bad news, had to reveal the bad news to him. All right, as y'all can see, there's a lot of question mark there. Can y'all please try to write out what did the coach tell John? John, I'm sorry, but because he injured himself already. John has injured himself. He can no longer participate in the competition. So I want you to act as if you're the coach. And what can you say to John? I want you to tell John that he cannot go for the match anymore because his injury was severe. So the conversation there, I will leave it up to you guys. But remember, because his coach spoke to John at that moment, feel free to use present tense. So once the coach has told John something, John could not believe his ears, like, oh my God, no, please, no, I don't believe this, and tried to convince his coach that he was well enough to join the competition, but to no avail. Okay, the first word, convince, is like a salesman. So like for example, whenever you guys are walking on the streets, right, people will be like, hey, hi, beautiful girl. Hey, hi, handsome guy. Hey, hi, you look like, wow, you look like Jay Chow. Wow, you're so beautiful. You look like Marilyn Monroe. So these salesmen, they tend to approach us, and then they'll be like, hey, why not you buy this, this is our limited edition Malaysia granola bar, this banana granola bar, only we have it in Malaysia. When you eat it, you're able to absorb all the fiber, and it'll be super duper healthy, and you can study better. So usually for salesmen, they want to convince you to buy their products. Like, they will convince you, come buy it now, order now, there's a special promotion, come buy it now, buy it now. It's convincing. John was trying to convince his coach that he was healthy enough to join the competition, but it was futile, but to no avail. These two words, they are SPM advanced phrases, means that it was a failure. I tried to lose weight, but to no avail, means that I tried to lose weight, but then I failed already. So whenever we use to no avail or it was futile, means that it was a failure. It did not work out. Okay? John's nose was very red as Rudolph. Rudolph is actually a very adorable animal, but it's basically like, during Christmas, you see the reindeer, the red color nose, that is Rudolph. His entire nose was red color, or maybe like the vegetable, his face was as red as tomato or beetroot because he was crying. He was like, Coach, please, let me join. Like, he's crying a lot, and when you cry, guys, your face tends to become red color. John looked very, very sad. For some students who don't take Mandarin, all right, these two words, right, means very, very upset. Can you please give me a good SPM vocabulary to represent the word very upset? John looked very upset, but I don't want you to use very upset. You can use something else. John looked very upset as he sat into the bench watching his teammates play. He wished that he could be there, standing with them, but the doctor gave him the order to rest his leg for more than a month. So John could not do any sports. He had to rest for more than a month. The more he remembered that he could not play, the more upset he felt. So guys, I give you a simple word here. The word is called upset as well. The more upset he felt. But because you're an SPM student, I don't want you to use upset. Use a better word. And now for paragraph 4, our dear best friend of John finally appeared. So for example, the best friend's name is called Tim. Feel free to use other names, everybody. Tim, who was John's bosom friend. I love this vocabulary. Bosom friend means best friend. My bosom friend is Allison. My bosom friend is Jessie. My bosom friend is Ali. So who was John's bosom friend? His best friend is also in a soccer team. His best friend built like a bull. His black wavy hair was combed back with plenty of grease. He is a guy, but he has a very, very strong body. He's built like a bull. the animal, and he has black wavy hair, was combed behind with plenty of grease. Well, as a girl, I guess I gel my hair sometimes, but as a guy, I think quite a lot of guys, they tend to gel their hair. So once you gel your hair, sometimes your hair can look a little bit greasy, a little bit oily. He witnessed that John was feeling very upset and decided to cheer him up. So for paragraph 4, you guys have to figure out the grammar and what is a better word to use other than very upset. Okay, so now climax is done already. After the climax, if you all scroll back to the previous a few minutes, a few minutes before paragraph 4, I have shared the formula. After the climax, we are going to the end result. Now we are moving on to the end result already. During the weekends, his best friend, bosom friend Tim visited John and gave him an encouragement card, which he had made. So inside the encouragement card, or maybe when his bosom friend went to visit John, what did he say to John? Hey, John, I hope you're getting better. Hey, John, I hope all is well. John, I know you are feeling very upset. I'm using an idiom here, down in the dumps. I know that you're feeling very upset. I know that you're feeling down in the dumps about this incident, but don't worry. Fret not basically means don't worry. I will be there to help you. And remember, we have another soccer match coming up. By the time you will be fully recovered and you can join us in the upcoming competition. So as a best friend, your duty is to cheer up your friend when your friend is very upset, when your friend is down in the dumps, like we are using it here. So the green color is a conversation, and that is what John said to, that's what Tim said to John, because John is the main character in this particular essay. So another 3 more bullet point sentence that I want y'all to write by yourself. As you can see here, his bosom friend Tim was trying to comfort John. Basically, the meaning for console, right? Console means that you are comforting. Are you okay? Don't be upset. I'm here for you. If you need me, I'm here for you. Anything, you just let me know. So obviously, Tim was trying to console John. Y'all can make your own sentence. At this particular moment, John, his eyes blurred with tears. So John was like, his eyes were teary, his eyes were crying, his eyes were filled with tears because he was very moved. He was very touched by Tim's heartfelt words of encouragement. Words of encouragement meaning whatever that this person is saying, right? It is encouraging you to become a better person. I believe in you. Don't be upset. You can do it. These are words of encouragement. Heartfelt meaning the words that was mentioned, it could really, really touch a person's heart. That's why it is called here heartfelt words of encouragement. And immediately after John has listened to what his bosom friend said to him, John had a ray of hope that appeared in his eyes already. So for the middle sentence, there are 3. Try to make your own sentence. And again, you can comment down below. Teacher Allison will try to help you mark whenever I'm not teaching. All right. The final one. Tim basically brought him a card. The card brought sweetness to his heart and smile to John's lips. John was feeling better and more cheerful now, thanks to Tim. And for the entire essay, what is the moral value? Because like for this essay, we don't have to really think about a moral value because the title itself is already a great way to end the essay. At the very end, a friend in need is a friend indeed. A friend in need is a friend indeed. And everybody, teacher has a very small typo here. So I will just like make some small changes. A friend in need is a friend indeed. We are going to end the entire essay with this simple particular moral value, and then we are done with the entire essay already. So after watching this video, I hope you're able to learn number 1, the formula, number 2, the checklist of writing an A+ story essay, number 3, the entire story about the proverb, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Thank you for watching. Remember to like this video, comment down below if you have any questions, and please subscribe for more videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.